Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 27th June 2020. Day is Saturday, and I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by George Bernard Shaw. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And he is absolutely right. With this, dear friends, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course. This smart course is for Civil Services Examination. It covers both pre and mains examination, and to find out more about it, all you have to do is download our mobile application. To download the PDF of today's lecture, do check out my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dear friends, today is Saturday, so we have total 3 articles on our table, and then we are going to go through some important news items as well. So let's start our discussion with science versus nonsense. This particular editorial is related with recent news. This was from Patanjali, the Baba Ramdev institution or Baba Ramdev's company, Patanjali. So what Patanjali claimed that they have designed or they have found 2 medicines, and this medicines, as per Patanjali, is a sort of 100% cure against COVID-19. So this was a big thing, and there is a rat race that is going on, a cutthroat competition that is going on as far as this COVID-19 medicine search is concerned. I still remember it's been nearly 1 month plus time. I think it's been 1.5 months also. I'm not sure about the exact time, but I think many of you would remember this fact that Defense Minister of Israel, he tweeted that Israel has found a medicine for or a cure for COVID-19. And this is not just one country. There are so many other institutions as well. They have said the same thing. They stayed there as a trending topic for a few days, and after that it was found that it was just, it was all barking and no biting. It was just about, creating that hype about your brand or your country. It was about, drawing attention of world media towards your company. So many companies are using it as a marketing tactic as well. But this sort of things, they destroy your image. I don't know who are the people who are suggesting or who are advising these companies to go for this sort of tactic. This means, let's talk about Patanjali, right? If you see what they did, see here, the clinical trial tested the drug on 45 individuals, and another 50 were administered a placebo. Placebo is basically, a sort of fake medicine, or fake is, I don't know whether the right word to use here, but it's a sort of, when you have headache and when you take a pill. Let's say if you are having a headache, and if I will tell you that this is the pill that you need to take, this is one of the best, I always take this pill. If you take it within 10 minutes, you will be all right. And even if it is just a sort of, tablet made from sugar, nothing else, then as well you will feel that, okay, your headache is gone. Because when you take that medicine, it is not the medicine, it is your mind that will send those particular juices or those particular liquids that are required to fix your headache or any other disease or any other thing. And in today's world, this placebo effect is, it's a proven thing. If you want to do more research on this thing, on what I'm saying, then you can do it. If you go online, you will find so many videos on placebo effect. You will find so many articles and journals on placebo effects. So 50 were administered with a placebo, and 45 were given this so-called Patanjali cure. All of the participants had tested positive for the virus. They had this COVID-19. On the 3rd day, 31 who were given the drug, this Patanjali drug, they recovered. Out of 45, 31 recovered in 3 days. And 25 of this 50 who were given this placebo, they also recovered. One thing that I would like to add here is that all these positive coronavirus patients were mild. They were suffering from mild coronavirus or mild COVID-19. It was not that severe. And as far as this mild COVID-19 is concerned, what hospitals are doing nowadays, and not just nowadays, but they are doing it for a very long period of time now, that when you are suffering from a mild COVID-19, they will give you hot water to sip, and they will give you some hot cooked food, and you'll be given some vitamin tablets and things like that. So there is no particular medicine for this thing. So a person who is suffering from mild COVID-19, the chances that he or she will recover in a week's time is as far as I know, it's very normal. So there is nothing new in what there is nothing new in what has happened here in this test. So you cannot say that, or Patanjali cannot say that they have found a cure. So judging from what they have done so far, and one more important thing, this whole finding was not submitted for peer review. A few days ago as well, I was telling you what is the importance of peer review. Peer review is, let's say you have found this medicine, so you will throw this medicine, the formula and everything, right? Have you conducted this test and things with your community, with your peers. Peers means those people who are working in the same field, those scientists who are working in the same field. And then you let them analyze whether the things that you have done are right or wrong, right? And there will be a debate on this thing. People will come out with their own suggestions. These are all scientific. It's not like just anyone will come and share their... It's not like YouTube, right? That in comment section, anyone can post their point of view. Peer review is very scientific. It is limited to your community. Of course, if you are a professional or something, then you can share your suggestions. But mostly, those doctors, those scientists will thoroughly analyze it. So this will make your whole finding a bit more refined, right? So this is one of the most scientific way of doing things. So you have not done that as well. So it looks like it's all about, creating that hype. India's regulatory checks and balances are wanting as well. It's a good thing that Ayush Mantralaya has quickly asked this Patanjali company not to advertise your products until and unless we give you a green signal, or until and unless things are proven. And they have also said, I think this is a positive signal coming from government. That we know it very well that Baba Ramdev is quite close to BJP. But then as well, Ayush Mantralaya has performed its duty very well. And a sad thing about our country is that we have so many, magic drugs available around us. I'm not pointing finger towards just a Patanjali company here. I'm not sure about their other products, so I cannot say. But one thing I know is that every, in a cluster of districts or within a district, you will find at least one or two Babas or Hakims and people like that. They claim that they have this religious power. Now, I'm not sure whether they genuinely have it or not, but I have heard about big stories. I came across a story few months ago. One of my friend, he said that he knows one Baba, and that Baba he can cure even cancer. He can increase your height as well if you want to add 1-2 more inches. Like he was telling me about a girl. She was about to, that matrimonial thing was going on. So she wanted to increase her height by a couple of inches. So this Baba, he did it, and he gives Ayurvedic medicines and natural medicines, no side effect and all these things. But okay, we find this sort of stories. So it's always, most of these stories, they have a third party in it, like something has happened to someone else, right? Or my friend told me, or this guy told me, or one of my relative, they are living in this place and they have this thing and they have this Baba and it's very magical. And so it's not scientific. I'm not saying each and every one of them are quacks, or they are false, or they are wrong, right? But I can surely say that not every one of them are 100% accurate. So it's all about trial and error. So this is something that is very common in our country. So many people, they believe in this thing. When someone famous will tell you that this is the thing that they have found a cure, and it is very dangerous as well. Just imagine that if let's say even 50,000 people, if they believe in this sort of non-scientific medicines, if they think like taking that particular thing will cure your COVID-19 or it will give you that immunity from COVID-19, then just imagine they will come out and then they can spread this coronavirus. They will get infected and they will spread to someone else as well. So this is a very dangerous thing. Remember HCQ, hydroxychloroquine? When it was in news, Mr. Trump, he said that we need this HCQ from India. India has sent this HCQ to not only USA but other countries as well. So early days, it was said that, in early days of COVID-19, of course, it was said that HCQ is a cure for this COVID-19. But the Lancet proved it, or Lancet raised the question about this methodological issues associated with HCQ. And it was also found that HCQ can even harm patients suffering from COVID-19. So this is a more scientific way. This is the result why this peer review has proved that HCQ is not good for it. It's not a sort of magic pill for your COVID-19. Thus, more than the outcome, it is the method deployed that ought to be scrutinized by scientists to reinforce public trust in scientific assessment. This is the most important thing. Your method, right? Method is, if you do one thing, if you follow certain steps, that's what science is all about, isn't it? If you do A and then you add B, then you add C, right? Then you will get D. If this is the way, then if you follow the same pattern anywhere in this world, if you do it in Brazil, if you do it in Japan, India, right, you'll get the same result. That's what, this is just a rough example, right? So just for your understanding. So method, if you add few ingredients, then you will get a certain thing and it will hit or it will cure few things or few diseases. And that's it, So it will do it all the time. That's when we can say that this is a proper medicine or vaccine for it. Then we have a problem of tension between traditional Indian system of medicine, Ayurveda versus allopathy. This is going on for a very long period of time. Now, one thing that I would like to add here is that there are so many pharmaceutical giants. They have their inputs in designing medical colleges and their courses, their syllabus. So I have seen few doctors, they are very anti-Ayurvedic. They will say that no, does not work and it's all outdated and there is no science in it. It's not always right. And just Ayurveda is good enough without no side effect. That's also not right. What we need to do is we need to create a bridge between traditional as well as modern medicines, right? If we can create a bridge, then we can get something else out of it, something better, right? Something more refined. But unfortunately, it's all about commerce and they are also brainwashed, I can safely say. And the reason I'm saying is because you can have a word with few doctors. I'm not saying all doctors. Again, remember, you have to listen to this conversation that I'm doing with you with open mind, right? I'm not trying to, put some negative points in your head. I'm not saying to doubt each and every doctor. What I'm saying is, there should be a bridge. Those doctors who are saying that no Ayurveda is wrong and those Ayurvedic doctors who are saying that only this is the best thing, they need to understand that if they merge, if they marry, if they engage with each other, this modern as well as traditional methods, then we can get something better for the people, right? For human beings. Okay, moving on to next item. This one is about guns, germs and steel. So on your screen you have this book here. It's not about this book. The article has used the title, something similar, this guns, germs and steel. So guns is all about Chinese guns, this LAC issue that is going on. Germs is all about coronavirus. And steel is basically about economy. If we draw a triangle, then we find that on one end we can put, on one corner we can put economy here, E for economy. In between we can put our country India, then you can put coronavirus, C, and L for LAC, that is a border issue. So all these three items, three corners are independent and they are large crisis by itself, and they require a very deep as well as proper solution. Chinese military threat calls for immediate strategic action by our defense and foreign affairs establishment. And that's what we are doing, right? We are engaged with China at both levels, at Foreign Affairs Ministry level or MEA level. Diplomatic channels are on, as well as defense channels are also on. Health epidemic, we are still struggling with it. Recovery rate is good, but still it's not going down. It's still going up, right? So that's a problem. And economic collapse is concerned, then we know that situation was not that great even before lockdown, even before this COVID-19 episode. We have touched somewhat 4.2% GDP rate. So this is not impressive. We used to be somewhere around 7%, but now we were 4.2, and there are experts who are saying that our economy's GDP's growth is going to be in minus. And to be very blunt here, they are also saying that a few of them, they are saying that 3%, 4%, 7%, 8%. But I think it's going to be somewhere around minus 12%. Yes, minus 12%. The government is saying it's going to be minus 7%, but I'm saying it's going to be minus 12%. Okay, so let's talk about this LSE issue first, how serious it is and how it will impact our country. You know, when we had this war with Pakistan, Kargil War 1999, our defense expenditure rose by 20%. Just with this, it was not a big, long war, right? It was not a war that lasted for like 6 months, right? The main core action, of course, there are other expenses as well, pre-planning and after that, and so many things. So overall, just a war with Pakistan. In 1999, our defense expenditure rose by 20%. 20% is not a small amount. It also forced the then government to increase India's defense budget by next financial year to 2.7% of nominal GDP, the highest in decades. So, pre-war, expenses going up. During war, expenses going up. And after war, post-war era or post-war time, you have to spend more after your defense. If you compare this thing with China, then China's economy is roughly 4 times bigger than our economy. Chinese defense expenditure, defense budget is nearly 4 times larger than India's defense budget. So they have this advantage. I'm not saying that we are weak, but you have to be a bit practical here. If you want to solve something, then you have to look at it from various different angles. So here, China can last long. You know, they can create more troubles. They can hold their positions for a longer period of time. The only reason is that they have more money power with them. So it is going to cost us really bad. This whole and our defense budget has been whittled down to just 2% of our GDP. China is spending huge amount of money after defense. So, yes, I know that there are few points at LSE where our position is stronger. I know that Indian Navy is much more experienced and much more, capable compared to Chinese Navy power. Air Force, few days ago, we were talking about Indian Air Force and how we are much stronger here as well. But it's like fuel. You know, they have 10 liters of fuel, we have 2 liters of fuel. So, of course, we are going to run out quicker than China. So this is the thing. So now the thing is how it will impact us. So if we want to continue with China, then we have to spend more money. So more money means government will have to spend more. On the other side, what we have is health crisis, coronavirus. Health pandemic has exposed India's woefully inadequate health infrastructure. Dear friends, I'm sure I don't have to tell you about health infrastructure of our country. You know the situation of public health infrastructure, and you know that most of the best hospitals or good hospitals, they are private. You have to spend money from your own pocket. So just imagine countries like UK, USA, Italy. These are the nations, they have one of the finest medical facilities in the world. And they were burned out. Burned out in the sense they were, their capacity was up to its brim, like maximum. They were also overloaded with work. Then just imagine our situation, right? We are not that much, and we are spending what, 1.5% of GDP after health. China is spending 3%. Now, mind you, Chinese economy is bigger than us. America is spending 9%. Again, American economy is bigger than us, and if America is spending 9% of its GDP, then it's spending huge amount of money. They say that this coronavirus is going to stay with us, or it's going to be around us for nearly 2 years, until and unless we find some cure or vaccine for it. So for next 2 years, we have to spend more money after infrastructure. So this is going to, it's going to means we are going to run out of money because we have to spend more money here. Then when it comes to Indian economy, as I told you, Indian economy was not doing that great before COVID-19 pandemic episode. And there are four major drivers of our economy, Indian economy. The first one is consumption, like people spending money. You are buying hair oil and perfume and bed sheet and mobile phones, and all these things are your your items of consumption. So people spending money plays a very important role, right? For every 100 rupees in incremental GDP, 60 to 70 rupees comes from people's consumption spending. Then you have government spending, spending money for various different things, right? Third thing is investment. This can be public, that means government investment. And then you have private investment. So this is third is investment. And the fourth major driver is external trade. So that means we exporting things to various different countries. So one of the biggest largest contributor, and that is people's spending on consumption. For roughly 2.5 months, right, this was off because of lockdown. So this has destroyed our economy. When transactions are low, so naturally GST collection is going to go down. When companies are locked, when people have lost their jobs, right, income tax collection is going to go down. So it is going to hamper government's revenue. And there are experts who say that we can print more money, and then we can, government, if you print more money, if RBI prints more money, then as well it is going to be a sort of loan for government. It's going to be a debt for government. One more thing. If printing money is the solution, then why collect tax from people? When you print more money, it's going to increase your inflation, and it's going to downgrade your currency. And when you borrow, then the other option is, or the only option at present that we can see, is government can borrow more money. When you borrow more money, you are going to pay more, interest on your debt. So your debt is going to be high. So international agencies can put our economy in this junk category. And when your economy will go in junk category, junk investment rating, then foreign investors, they are going to pull out their money from our country. So it's not that easy, as you can see, right? Moving on to next item, it's going to be very easy for all of you guys to understand, because you have been engaged with e-education for a very long period of time. Now, being very impartial here, I must say that there are a few positive things about physical classes, right? You can have one-to-one interaction. There is a thing, right? It's very difficult to explain, but of course, if you have a word with someone over the phone, and when you meet that person, so that's totally different thing. You can look in the eyes and body language, and this is how human beings we are. So that's a very natural thing. So there are a few positive things associated with physical classes, and there are a few positive things associated with digital classes. So both of them, they have their pros and cons, right? So it's not like digital is perfect or physical is perfect. They have their flaws, they have their good things. At present, we know that COVID-19 is going on. So for next few months, I don't think so schools are going to get open. And countries like UK and United States, they have already declared, their institutions have said that this academic year will be held mainly online. The problem with our country is that we don't have basic things that are required for digital education all across the board. Like electricity connection 24/7 is must. Then you need internet. 4G is okay. If you want to, let's say, watch a video, if you get good 4G connection, that's good. But when you want to create lectures, right, if you are an educator, then you need more than 4G. You need a broadband. Ideally speaking, you need a broadband, so that you can record your videos and upload, and if you want to add something in it and things like that, right? So I'm sure you are aware about it. So in our country, we don't have this basic facilities. When I say basics, I'm talking about internet connection as well as not just internet connection. There are three things, right? One is internet connection, then we can say power, that is electricity, and then we have gadgets. A family with two kids, they cannot have two different laptops. Means they if they have money, then of course they should. If they don't have, then you can imagine that both kids, they cannot, like one girl and one boy, then they will fight for the laptop, and both of them, they cannot means if your classes is going to be in the morning time, then how they are going to attend those live classes? So this is also going to be a bit challenging, because we have to consider. So at present, I'm not saying that digital education should not be there. It is important, but there are things that we need to do about it. We'll talk about that thing as we move on. Then the big risk is because money is means economic crisis is going to hit the whole world. So the problem is that research funding, there will be less support for research. This will impact our overall society, right? So that is a big thing. Now, there are a few classes like laboratory and practical component. You cannot do it online. You have to visit some sort of institution or your laboratory and other places. One more thing that earlier on, this is going to be a positive point for this digital class, and that is that earlier on, like let's say Oxford University or Cambridge or Harvard, now you have their YouTube channels. You can watch their videos. Not all of them, of course, but few of them, or maybe many of them. That is also not bad. Earlier on, these videos were available only for those students who are studying over there. But now, students of India, from India as well, they can watch these videos online. So it has, of course, this e-education has the biggest advantage is that it is available to many. And Gandhiji talked about Nai Talim. Remember, Nai Talim is about self-study and experimental learning. So this is something that we need to encourage our students. I think in our country we are too much dependent on teachers and too much dependent on tuition classes, that if I don't know something, then the answer is tuition classes. Just imagine you go to school in the morning, and for the same subjects you need a tuition classes. So why go to school when you can get everything in tuition class? That's a big question, isn't it? So this is also going to change. So we are going to see some big changes, radical changes, and we can also deploy artificial intelligence, particularly for differently abled students, is going to be a big boon. And the thing that I was talking about as far as internet, power, and laptop and smartphones are concerned, that government should keep this thing in mind, that if this is the thing that is going to continue for a bit of time, then we have to government should provide some sort of support, maybe tablets, maybe laptop, maybe smartphone to students with internet connectivity. These are going to be future packages. I think, early on we used to get, this is just my idea, that early on we used to get reservation in colleges seats, right? But now future reservations is going to be, you will get a digital voucher and you will get a laptop, and then you are on your own, right? Your caste, your economical background, this sort of things will not matter that much, because you have been given all the facilities. Now you have to perform. So I think this can happen. That's what my thought is. What do you think about it? Stick your opinion or your suggestions in the comment section. Dear friends, a few news items on your screen, and we are nearly out of time, so let me quickly take you through it, right? Of course, you can download the PDF and go through it. I want you guys to read each and every single line of this PDF, right? So you have to revise it. It's not over. When when you're done with video, then that's the time. Then after that, you need to go through the PDF. So Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Rojgar Abhiyan has been launched by Prime Minister, not Pradhan Mantri, sorry, Atmanirbhar Uttar Pradesh Rojgar Abhiyan has been launched by Prime Minister in Uttar Pradesh. This is a scheme by Uttar Pradesh government. Indian Ambassador to China Vikram Misri has warned China that you need to stop misbehaving, and if you keep on doing this thing, then this will impact our overall bilateral relationship. BR government has decided to provide government jobs to one member each from the families of the 5 martyrs who lost their lives in the standoff with Chinese troops at Galwan Valley. Recovery rate is quite impressive, 58%. A meeting is going to take place under the leadership of Dr. Harshvardhan. Serological survey. Very important thing. Few facts you need to keep in mind is that blood samples from randomly selected individuals are collected. It uses this IgG ELISA kit. Uttar Pradesh government to form dedicated UPSSF. This is Uttar Pradesh Special Security Force. It is going to protect banks, industrial establishments, airports, rail, metro, courts, other organizations, religious places, etc. Today is the birthday of Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay ji. He he composed this Vande Mataram song, and then you have few headlines here, and that's everything from my side, dear friends. Tomorrow is Sunday, so now I will directly meet you on Monday with Hindu analysis. Of course, I will see you with daily financial news analysis today, but no lectures from my side tomorrow. But StudyIQ videos and everything will keep on coming, so stay with StudyIQ in this weekend. And God bless you all. Enjoy your weekend. Jai Hind.